I never meant to go to the warehouse party, that's the lie I tell myself. I'd been craving something loud enough to drown out the restless hum in my chest. The flyer had no address, just coordinates and a promise. One night only. No phones. No names, just sound. The abandoned building throbbed with bass like a living heart. Inside, neon lights sliced through smoke, and the crowd moved as one frantic body. Then I saw him. He stood behind a metal table, dressed in torn tactical gear, wires hanging from his chest. A cracked helmet covered his face, LED panels glowing red, 2 square eyes, and a deep digital frown flickering in the dark. In his hands was a turntable rimmed with jagged teeth like a saw blade. When he dragged his hand across the spinning vinyl, the sound that rose wasn't music. It was a scream, not sampled, not synthesized. It was raw, layered with static and something almost biological. The crowd cheered. I told myself it was part of the act. The bass dropped and the room shook violently. Lights strobed in blinding bursts. Every time they flashed, the sad face on his helmet seemed closer to the edge of the stage. Closer to me. I laughed nervously and pushed deeper into the crowd. Someone splashed neon paint across my sleeve. It felt cold, too cold. The sound shifted again. Beneath the rhythm, I heard whispers. They weren't coming from speakers. They threaded through the beat like veins, words just out of reach. I tried to move toward the exit, but the crowd had tightened. Bodies pressed in, sweat slick and frantic. The air tasted metallic. The DJ raised one gloved hand. The music cut instantly. Silence slammed into us. His helmet display flickered, the sad mouth widened. The red eyes glowed brighter. Then he spoke. His voice didn't come from a microphone. It vibrated from the floor, the walls, my bones. Listen. The single word echoed unnaturally long. The turntable began spinning on its own. The blade edge caught the light. Slowly, images started flashing across the lead face. Not just a frown now, but distorted shapes. Faces. For a split second, I saw my own. I stumbled backward. The music returned, but it wasn't rhythm. Just layers of voices screaming, crying, begging. The crowd danced harder, eyes vacant. A girl laughed beside me. Her mouth didn't move. The sound came from behind her. Her glassy eyes reflected the red stage glow. The DJ scraped the vinyl. Sparks flew. The screams ripped through my head, tearing up buried memories and regrets with every beat. The whispers grew clearer. They gave it willingly. Every sound leaves an imprint. You hear yourself now. I covered my ears. It didn't help. On the stage, the DJ tilted his helmet slowly, focusing on me. I was certain of it. Thousands of people in the warehouse. Yet his gaze pinned me like an insect. The sad face flickered, then glitched into something worse. The mouth stretched downward impossibly far. The eyes multiplied briefly before snapping back into 2 red squares. I pushed through the crowd with sudden desperation. No one resisted, but no one reacted either. They danced mechanically, arms pumping in precise synchronization. As I neared the exit door, I saw something that froze me in place. There were no shadows. The strobe lights flashed white. Bodies filled the room. But beneath their feet, nothing. No dark shapes on the floor. I looked down at myself. No shadow. The music stopped again. A low hum filled the air. The DJ stepped down from the platform. Each step echoed too loudly, metal against concrete. Up close, the helmet wasn't just cracked, it was splitting. Thin fractures spidering across the surface. Through them, I thought I saw darkness moving. He stopped a few feet away from me. I couldn't see his eyes, yet I felt examined. The lead face changed. The frown softened into a straight line. "Do you remember," the voice said, "when you stopped listening?" My mouth went dry. What? The warehouse around us began to distort. Walls stretching, ceiling rising impossibly high. The crowd's movement slowed, becoming fragmented frames like a broken film reel. The DJ reached up and removed one glove. His hand wasn't flesh. It was composed of thin wires and translucent fibers, vibrating faintly like strings under tension. He placed that hand on my chest. Instantly, I heard it, my heartbeat, amplified and looped through invisible speakers. It blended with the hum of the room. You traded silence for noise, he continued. You filled every space. I knew what he meant. Headphones in bed, television on while sleeping, music during work, podcasts in the shower. I had feared the quiet, the stillness where thoughts could grow too loud. The Blade turntable behind him began spinning faster. The walls dissolved into darkness. The crowd vanished entirely. It was just him and me standing in an endless void, lit by pulsing red light. You fed the current, he said. The whispers became distinct voices now, my own voice, layered at different ages. Childhood laughter, teenage anger, adult exhaustion. Every sound I had used to avoid myself now echoed around me. I didn't know, I managed to whisper. You did. The lead face flickered. For a moment, the sad expression disappeared completely, replaced by a blank black surface. In that reflection, I saw myself, not as I was, but hollowed, translucent. Threads of sound passed through my chest, looping outward into the darkness. The DJ turned and gestured. The void shifted into a vast sea made of liquid static. Thousands of faint human silhouettes drifted beneath its surface, mouths open, releasing faint streams of noise that rose like bubbles. They come here slowly, he said. Not stolen. Offered. The turntable blade rose from the ground beside him, spinning horizontally in the air. I saw now that it wasn't cutting vinyl. It was slicing thin strands of sound from the silhouettes in the sea, weaving them into an endless track. You are not dead, he added calmly. Not yet. A sharp panic surged through me. Then what is this? A threshold. The word vibrated. I looked back toward the darkness where the warehouse had been. I felt something tugging in my chest, a thin thread connecting me to something far away. My apartment. My body lying in bed. The memory came rushing back. The night before. The tightness in my chest. The decision to ignore it. The headphones still playing as I drifted off. Your heart hesitated, the DJ said. Between beats, you arrived here. The sea of static churned violently. You can remain, he continued, drown in the current you built. The silhouettes beneath the surface reached upward faintly, their fingers dissolving into static. Or you can return. The blade stopped spinning. Silence fell. True silence. Not empty, but deep, heavy. For the first time in years, there was no sound in my ears, no hum, no echo, just the rhythm of my own pulse. Slow, unsteady. The DJ stepped back. The red glow faded to a soft amber. Listen, he said again. I focused inward. The silence felt unbearable at first, like pressure on my skull. My thoughts surged chaotically. Regret, fear, embarrassment, loneliness. I almost screamed to fill the void. But I didn't. I let the silence settle. Beneath the panic, I heard it. Breath. My breath. Faint but real. The pulling in my chest strengthened. The static sea faded. The silhouettes vanished. The DJ's helmet flickered. The sad face steadied. This is not punishment, he said. It is balance. The void shattered. I choked on air. Blinding light. Voices shouting. Hands pounding my chest. He's back, I gasped as paramedics leaned over me, my apartment ceiling sharp and real above. You flatlined for nearly a minute, someone said. They wheeled me out. My headphones lay silent on the pillow. Later, in the hospital, machines beeped softly. You're lucky, the doctor told me. Alone in the dark room, I resisted turning on the TV. The quiet was terrifying. But I listened anyway. But it was mine. I closed my eyes and listened, not to music, not to distraction, but to the simple rise and fall of my breathing. Somewhere far beyond hearing, I imagined a warehouse dissolving into darkness, a helmet flickering off, a blade coming to rest. I never saw the DJ again. But sometimes, in the brief space between heartbeats, when the world goes still, I remember his final word. Listen. And this time, I do.